Two people before the camera right now, neither paid by the government. Myself, well, behind the camera, and Jay Goldberg with the Taxpayers Federation. He's certainly not paid by the government, so please donate and subscribe. And Jay, there is something going on about extending the rules, not just so that the Prime Minister can have a few more days in office before he has to leave when the election comes, but it's about pensions. Explain it to me.
So there's a bill right now before the House of Commons that is looking to, among other things, move the next election back by a week. Why that's important is that later by a week. And why that's important is that about 80 MPs would all of a sudden qualify for lifetime pensions. They're 1 day short if the election is held when it is. And if you move it back, all of these folks qualify for lifetime pensions that'll cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars.
So the Taxpayers Federation gave evidence before a House committee, I'm told the other day, to the effect that
our federal director, Franco Terrazzano, testified before a House committee earlier this week, and what he said was, look, if it conflicts with a religious holiday, which is why they're saying they need to move the election back, either move it forward or change the pension eligibility date if you move it back so that you don't get these pensions if this is the reason.
If you're really
if this is really about a religious holiday and not about the pensions. And guess what? Even the Liberal MP on the committee agreed with Franco. So you had a Liberal MP, you had the Bloc is behind him, the NDP, the Conservatives. So there is a multi-party consensus that this stinks, that they're doing this to try to, get all these MPs pensions, and even one Liberal MP said this smells fishy.
So if the other parties disagree with this, then it's not going to go anywhere, hopefully.
Well, look, you never know, because the NDP in the past has said they've been against things and then they've supported the government, particularly if it means the government's going to fall. So look, if the Prime Minister wants to make this a confidence measure, but what we made perfectly clear before this committee is that there's a very easy way to prove that this is about the religious holiday and not about pensions. Move the election up or change the eligibility. That's all you have to do.
And so, if it does get put through, and it is a Liberal bill, Canadians should really be up in arms.
Well, absolutely.
It shows what they're there for.
This is about
they're all money.
It's about 80 MPs, many of whom are Liberals and might lose the next election and might not qualify. There's some New Democrats as well, and Conservatives, in fact. Conservatives happen to be against it. They're riding high in the polls. They happen to think that they'll be reelected, keep their seats. But look, fundamentally, this is wrong for taxpayers. And if you're just trying to sneak this through and use the excuse of a religious holiday, Franco was there to say there are two ways that you can change this to prove to Canadians that you're moving the election for a religious holiday and not for your pensions.
It's sort of like the old rule that if you're going to raise the salaries, don't raise your own, raise it for the people after the next election. So if you're going to change the rules for pension, don't do it for yourself. Do it for the people afterwards, because then you stay whole and honest, as opposed to dishonest.
And why is it that they can't move the election earlier by a week instead of later by a week? I think that's the fundamental question.
You nailed it. Jay, thanks very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.